Hello and welcome back for Smoking Research here. Today is honestly one of my favorite days whenever I get to do one of these grills or any grill that I buy and do testing on is cleanup day. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to get this guy cleaned up and get her to look nice and new again. So first things I do when I start on a cleanup after purchase is the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and clean up the inside of the grill. So you can see there I still have the grease tray and everything out from when we were doing the repair on this grill. So we'll go ahead and start there. I'll go ahead and grab my scraper here. But when I'm cleaning these grease trays, typically what I do is I just take a trash can like so. I'll take the grease tray. As you can see, this one has been used. Go ahead and put it over and just go ahead and scrape all of that buildup off. So a good scraper helps with this. I mean, not too hard. As you can see, it all comes off pretty easily. One thing I will talk about is also when you're using these grease trays, you always want to use them with the lip up. That lip's going to help catch that grease and channel it down to the bottom. As you can see here, the previous owner of this had this upside down. So with that upside down, that allows that grease to fall off the side here. Increases your chance for burn-ups when you're grilling at high temperatures. So if he had this at high temperature and that grease happened to catch on fire, it's a lot easier for it to burn over this edge and catch everything on fire here than if this was up and catching that grease and directing it down to the grease trap at the bottom of the grill. So always, if you're putting one of these in, make sure those lips are up just to make sure you don't have any flare-ups when you're using the grill. So we'll go ahead and get this off and turn around and put on the right side of the grill. That way we can use it properly when we put it back in. Make sure we get a good clean surface to put this back on. So now we'll go ahead and put that back on there. Not too tight that we can't move it, but tight enough so that it stays put. So there, now you can see with that installed on the top, we'll be able to twist that, let all that heat from the burn pot in this grill come up and hit our grill grates for when we're doing some of that high temp cooking. So that is a nice feature here of this Z grill. So now that we got that grease tray cleaned up, we're going to go ahead and open up the grill. You guys could have seen it in the last video, but I'll go ahead and show you again real quick. So you look at the bottom of this grill, and there is just ash buildup everywhere. So that ash buildup is not good. We do want to take care of that. If you guys aren't taking your grills apart every once in a while and doing a cleanup on the inside of them, I highly suggest doing it. Definitely helps with your burns. That ash will get in that burn pot and sit down below that burn pot. And sometimes you can have ignition issues in these grills if you get too much ash buildup in that burn pot itself. So we'll go ahead and take the shop vac. We'll go ahead and sweep it out. All right. So we got the bottom of the grill swept out there. When I was talking about the ash and some of the issues it can cause is the ash that's down underneath your burn grate here. So if you get too much ash buildup down underneath here, it can cause issues with ignition and other things like that. Airflow, even if you get real bad buildup down there, you can prevent the air coming from that fan over the fire, and that'll cause back burns and other issues like that going back into the pellet hopper, which is never a good thing. So with that, as you can see now, we got the bottom all nice and cleaned out. So we'll go ahead, I'll set you guys back down over here. And we're going to go ahead and take our grease tray with our burn fire there corrected. We're going to go ahead and set that back in the bottom of the grill. So there is a lip that catches that up top there. Just make sure it catches there, and then everything sits down in there properly. Okay. Like I said, make sure you install it with those side lips up. That's meant to catch that grease and help funnel it down to your catch tray on the end of the grease tray there. So do make sure you have that grease tray installed correctly. From there, pretty simple. I do like to take my scraper and run it where the grill grates sit and just clean up any excess that's built up there. Typically, there's not too much buildup in those areas. So I'll just run my scraper over it, kind of clean it up there. Knock any excess grease or anything off of there and put it back down. After that, we're going to go ahead and take our grill grates. We'll put them back in the bottom there. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my grill brush and run it over those real quick. Now, there's lots of different kinds of grill brushes out there. I have some personal favorites, which we'll talk about in another video one of these days. But this is the one I got handy today. So we're just going to go ahead and spray some of my degreaser there, or my grill cleaner. I haven't done too much testing on these to see if there's one that works better than the other. Maybe that'll be another video we do. But that's just the Pit Boss brand. Picked it up at my local Menards here. So with that, we'll just spray that down. Go ahead and give our grill grates a good wipe down. Knock all that excess off there. And if you even wanted to clean them better, you could go ahead and pull them and take that and run it over the trash can. Helps you get to the end of the grill grates a little better if you do actually pull them out of the grill. So now with all of that done, we got the inside of the grill cleaned up, ready to roll. We'll go ahead and close the lid, and we'll go ahead and work on the outside here a little bit. So, like I said, with this grill, it actually used to be black, believe it or not. But if you look at it now, you can see that it's more of a gray color on the bottom. We won't address that right now. First things first, we're going to go ahead and get these polished pieces cleaned back up. So for that, I do have a polish gun. If you don't have a polish gun, you can go on Amazon and buy a 2-inch polishing kit. I got one here, but you can buy a 2-inch polishing kit. And that kit's going to come with this chuck that'll go inside your drill. And you can actually use your drill for polishing, which I did that for a while before I had an actual polishing gun. So with that, I got the polishing gun. I do have some compound here I just picked up at our local O'Reilly's. I'm going to go ahead and take that and put it on. And put it on this pad. Another thing I'm going to do before I actually polish it is grab a rag and just wipe off all the excess that doesn't need to be there, right? There's a lot of dirt and dust on here that's going to come off with a simple wipe of this rag. So go ahead and get all that loose stuff off there before we go ahead and go in with the polish. So now we got that. Take the polish gun and we'll go ahead and work it and polish the top of this up. All right, guys, while I was cleaning everything up, you can see we got the top clean and the side panels clean here. But I decided to go ahead and hit the main body of the grill. And as you can see, this grill used to be black. So this color here is what the grill used to be. So it's sun faded. So you can see the difference between the back of the grill, which was probably up against the previous owner's house, and the front of the grill. You got this gray color. So it was definitely a sun faded grill. Like I said, we are polishing, bringing that color back out. I just wanted to notate that for you guys. If you're looking at purchasing a Z grill, it might be something that you need to watch out for. So guys, got the rest of the cleanup done on the Z grills tonight. As you can see, turned out really nice. I'm really happy with how the black came back in. Makes it a little bit more contrast against that polish here, that polished aluminum look. So with that, if you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. We'll answer them as we go. But join us next week. We're going to do some cooking on it this week, and we'll do a full review next week. Tell you what I like and don't like about the base model grill here, and then we'll get into upgrading it and doing some base testing to see how we can improve the performance of this Z grill.